service that they were going to offer to a select few at the start. Do you know or understand anything about that and what that may mean?
Yeah, so they're offering a custodial service for institutions, and there are now a range of custodians out there currently. And so Fidelity, of course, in order for any investment vehicles to be ready for prime time and for institutions, there's got to be proper custody, right? Because all of the laws in all the states, not all the states, but most of the states, they require that assets be held in custody, by a third party, right? And institutions require it. There's no pension fund, insurance company, or family office that's going to invest in any investment vehicle unless there's a third-party licensed custodian. So even though Fidelity announced they were going to offer that, they're not the first, and there's currently other solutions out there that people are using. Kingdom Trust, who was a custody solution for hedge funds. I want to say it was DRW that partnered with them to launch their crypto custody solution. But I was actually at the event. This is going back to 2 years ago in San Francisco. I was at an event when Kingdom Trust announced their custody solution, and that was kind of the first product out there. They're the first to market. And then several others have some. I use BitGo as a custody solution for our stuff. So we use BitGo, and there's several others out there. And for those of you who don't know, well, you should probably also know what custody is, but custody is just simply a third party making sure that assets are handled according to the agreement and that they're held securely. It's really been problematic for cryptocurrency because no hedge funds or cryptocurrency investors like myself have been willing to hand over your private keys to somebody else to take care of it, right? Nobody's been willing to do that. They're not going to hand it over to Kingdom Trust and say, oh yeah, you can do it better than me. No, that's not going to happen. So it's really been a challenge in the industry. And Fidelity does have a solution, but I really know nothing about their solution right now, where they're at. It wasn't very enticing to me. I haven't even dug into it when they offered it.
So they actually take your key, and then you basically they have control of your crypto.
Yeah, exactly. So what they do essentially is they actually generate the wallets. They generate the wallets offline, and then you can transfer your cryptocurrency to those offline wallets. When I say they're offline, they're generated offline, so at no time are the keys exposed to any network, and then you can transfer it to them. It's more sophisticated than that. They have where the keys are located. They have security, some biometrics and cameras and so forth. It's usually a multi-signature type of wallet, so nobody internally can send them, send that crypto externally without multiple authorizations. It's all designed to pass a certain level of required security, so the assets can't just disappear. Leo, did you have a question?
Were you ever able to find this quote, by the way?
No, I had a comment about that. You're probably friends with Trace Mayer.
Yeah.
But they came out with that thing where custodial service, I think, just for the Satoshi run, I guess like a month ago or a few weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And they said if it's not your if it's on the exchange, they're not your coins. It's something like that. That's their slogan, but it's on his website.
Okay. Well, I know it's a solution. We're actually going to come up with a custody solution in the future. It's been on the project list for. I forgot. I can't say anything about it yet. I can't say anything about it yet. But anyway, the company that we're acquiring is had it on their project list for a while. We use we use BitGo as an example for the exchange. To give you an idea, what you've got is you've got these hot wallets. Hot wallets are wallets that are connected to a network, so they require a whole range of security, right, in order to authorize a transaction. Sometimes Bitcoin addresses are whitelisted. In other words, the wallet can only send Bitcoin to a specific address that's approved on a whitelist. It's kind of like an email whitelist, right? Basically, it is like a email whitelist. And then there's several other things that it does. For example, when it gets a transaction request to send, it actually goes back to the server, the only authorized server that's allowed to authorize that transaction, and confirms that the transaction actually came from that server before it releases it. In other words, there's no way to fake a transaction to that wallet. So they have several layers of security for online wallets as well, and then they have offline cold storage wallets also. So when you're running a hedge fund and you're bringing in institutional money, you've got to have a third party. Under most circumstances, you have to have a third party hold and manage those assets. When I say hold and manage them, I say hold them, not manage them, but just hold them, so that, you know. Anyway, it's just another layer of security, but it also creates bureaucracy and cost and expense. So anyway, the short answer is I don't know anything about what Fidelity's done, but I know that there's lots of solutions out there. So did you guys, I don't know if you guys heard about Swift. The Swift chief announced that they're integrating with R3. And really what they're doing is just doing a test integration with R3 for the purpose of settlement for Swift transactions. So they can do online and offline transactions via the blockchain. R3, some of you may not know, I assume everyone knows, R3 is a consortium that launched a long time ago of many of the major banks. It started with about 40 or 43 major banks, and then later they expanded as other partners came in. It was very controversial in the early days of Bitcoin because R3 attempted to their objective was to get all the banks together to bypass the central banks, the Federal Reserve System and other central banks for the purpose of transacting large assets and settlement. And it's interesting because if you can imagine this, the banks are getting together to try and cut the middleman out, right? When the rest of the world, the public is getting together trying to cut the banks out, right? On these public blockchains. And so R3 did this. The former CEO of JP Morgan Chase, I can't think of her name at the moment, but she founded it, and they launched and got a bunch of banks on board, and they've been doing testing. They raised a ton of money, hundreds of millions of dollars in the company. And from the very beginning, if you go back to comments from me about 3 years ago, I didn't think that this concept was going to work because it's a permission blockchain. In other words, it's a private permission blockchain where only a handful of consortium banks have permission to run nodes, and therefore it's not truly decentralized. It's just a bunch of mobsters getting together and saying, hey, let's create a network that the rest of the world can operate on, and we'll control it. So anyway, so Swift is also a centrally controlled database that settles international transactions. All of you heard of Swift, and so they're doing some test integration with R3, and I think that should that should create some. Well, we'll see. We got a centralized and a partially centralized group getting together testing transactions on a blockchain. I don't think it's ever going to work. And I think my criticism of it was validated when some major players left, like Chase and Wells Fargo and some others. They pulled out of the consortium about a year and a half ago. I think they came to the same determination. I don't think the system's going to work. But if you haven't heard about that, the reason why that matters is I just want to let you know that this whole idea of utilizing the blockchain to solve global payments is still in process. Something I can share with you that's exciting is that we managed to recently obtain an unlimited banking license in Bermuda. What that means is, as we establish that bank, we'll be able to provide access to fiat currencies from many jurisdictions throughout the entire world, right? We'll be able to have a bank in a trusted jurisdiction. Bermuda has a strong reputation, and we'll be able to provide a conversion from a large range of fiat currencies into crypto. So that's an exciting development. It'll take about 7 to 8 months for us to actually have that fully implemented. But I think it's an exciting piece of news. Let's see.
Maybe I need to.
Ray, did you have another question?
No, Brian.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. All right.
Yeah. She's, I don't know.
All right. Well, one of the things we're all wondering is
All right, then.
when is this turnaround going to begin? And when are we going to start to see new participants come to the market and speculation and drive to higher highs? And so that's the same question we've answered several times in previous calls. It's just a simple matter of something significant and new, some trigger event of some kind, whether it be backed, whether it be Lightning Network, whether it be something, driving in new market participants. The other question I get asked on occasion is Bitcoin going to zero? The answer is no. And they say, well, how do you know that? And the answer is that there's a lot of talented people and money that is invested in this technology. And there are a lot of needs in the marketplace that can be fulfilled with the solution that this technology provides. Therefore, it has a value today, and it has an even greater value in the future as those solutions are utilized and products and services come to market. So you can't have something that's limited in supply and desired by so many people go to zero. Unless something else replaces it, right? Unless something else completely replaces it, like we see in other industries. And it's still my argument that Bitcoin itself is going to continue to fulfill its role wherever that takes it. And Bitcoin, I don't think, will be replaced for what it is. And the reason why is because it's based on an open source platform that is being updated every week. Every week there's been modifications made to the Bitcoin network. If you go to GitHub and you can take a look at the commits and the updates and enhancements, most of it doesn't affect anybody. It's just small things. When there's a big thing that's changed, we all hear about it. But and as a result of that, Bitcoin will morph into whatever it is the market demands of it. And therefore, I don't think it's going to be replaced or outdated. And so anyway, nobody even asked that question. I went down that rabbit hole. Anybody coming to New York in March? If there's a family office event, I think I shared with you guys. If not,
Yeah, Brian, this is Ray. I think I may take you up on that and
okay,
try to pick up with you down there. I'll let you know as we get a little bit closer, if that's okay. I just need a couple weeks.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just let me know so I can hook you up. I think I mentioned to you that I could set you up. As far as
That would be great.
Getting you in. Yeah, because I think the registration. What is it? It's like $4,000 or something. What was the registration?
It was steep. Yeah, it was steep.
It was steep. Yeah, I just remember it's very steep. So, yeah, I guess they used that high ticket price to uh, to you know, I guess to keep the riffraff out. So
Or to get guys like you to come speak for free.
yeah, or guys like me to come speak for free. Yeah. So yeah, I love.
Are you able to get a discount on that?
What's that, Kanal?
Are you able to get a discount on that price?
I do have something that'll get you a 15% discount on it. Yeah, I'll send you a code. They provided me a link with a discount code. I asked them for it too, so I'll send that. I'll post it actually in the chat group. I'll find it and post it after this call.
Awesome, thanks.
Okay. So
All right, I got a question if no one else has a question.
yeah, Tim, shoot.
I've noticed that in terms of the apps, that EOS actually has far more transactions, daily transactions that go on, 3 times more than Ethereum. And although it releases far less number of applications, per month or whatever. I was wondering if you just, and it's newer, I was wondering if you had any impression of EOS since it's in terms of usage of dApps, transactions called daily transactions through users of dApps. It's the leader.
Well, I think so. Yes. So let me give you just the big picture really quick with EOS. So Ethereum was first. EOS was second. Not really second. EOS was the second major that was taken on by by Asia, right? And so you've got a lot of developers that have learned how to use it and are using it to develop things. It's got a faster transaction or capacity, right? And so will it win? I think it's probably more likely that EOS will win the dApp race over Ethereum than Ethereum win, in my view. I think the greatest innovation and development and adoption speed is happening throughout Asia. And EOS is by far the leader in that market. So whether it maintains that lead, we shall see. I like the idea of building apps on the Bitcoin blockchain.
Right.
But the rest of the community has to like that idea too. It can't just be Brian. So we'll see.
Just RSK is extremely new. I don't know if it's even been slow to get off to a start. It might have been, but it's certainly very, very new. And that's the reason it's not showing up in the data, I'm assuming. Or do you have any reason to believe that there's been a slow uptake on RSK? I just assumed it was just too new, but I haven't studied the amount of time it's been in development.
RSK is the platform that enables you to build the smart contracts on the Bitcoin blockchain. So it's not a separate crypto. It's different than EOS.
Yeah. But it's still, it's not separate, but it's definitely also a dApp. So, it's something to
it's definitely targeting that market. But the results of it you're going to see is on Bitcoin, right? So you're going to see stuff being built on top of Bitcoin. Let's see.
It uses Bitcoin as a one-to-one peg. It's almost like it's created a stable coin, but as you say, it's part of Bitcoin. I'm just wondering if you have any sense for how long RSK has been in development for. Is there any reason to think that it's been slow to get off the ground, or not at all? I don't know how long.
I don't think it's been slow to get off the ground. It just barely got to the point where it can be used in production, right? I wish I probably on the blog. I mean, it's a relatively recent development, and it's when I shared it with you guys, it was really kind of the buzz around geeks, right? It hasn't really received mainstream attention.
I don't know if you saw, but this South Korean venture, I want to say it's called Tamron or Tamros. It's a supply chain management venture, and they're using RSK, and they're up and running. They had like a $17 million Singapore, I want to say the word ICO in December, and they're using RSK. So I think they're the first to use RSK kind of operational.
Okay. Wow. Well, I haven't spent that much time on it recently. I would like to build our well, anyway, I want to build our Zion coin on RSK protocol. That's one of the next steps on our list, is to get that piece done. But the only thing that would change my mind is I have to assess whether or not it's going to be easily adoptable by many different exchanges out there. You know, I want to make it easy for people to create wallets for it and be able to have it. Yeah. Hey, Leo, did you have a question?
Yeah, what are you going to use RSK for?
The Zion token. So we are creating 1 billion tokens of the Zion coin as part of our launch of the Zion exchange. So Zion will be a mega exchange that gives access to liquidity across a whole range of different platforms. In other words, on Zion, you'll be able to access liquidity on Kraken, Bitfinex, Poloniex, Gemini, Coinbase, all the other exchanges, because we'll be tapped into their liquidity via our Flex APIs on the back end. And it also is able to transact at a speed that's somewhere between 10 and 50 times faster than any other exchange out there. And I placed a link in the chat so you guys can see the what the front end interface looks like. But so we're going to have a Zion coin that's going to mimic the Binance tokenomics. So the Binance offering. Zion coin will launch with 1 billion units, and then every quarter we'll take the profits of Zion and buy back the token and destroy the token until there's only 100 million left. In other words, when we launch and start selling this token, there'll be 1 billion tokens, and then we're going to shrink the supply over time based on the profitability of Zion. So Zion's going to buy back the tokens and destroy them over time until there's only 100 million left. We believe that will incentivize investors to get involved because right out of the gate, there's a built-in mechanism to shrink the supply and increase the value of their investment, right? The second thing is, if you own the Binance coin, depending on how much you own, you'll receive a discount, like a 50% discount on your fees on the Zion trading platform, which fees are already very competitive. It's 10 basis points are the fees on the platform. And so you'll be able to reduce that to like 5 basis points if you own the Zion coin. So it's like prepaying for your fees. That was Binance's model. Binance launched their token and at about 12 cents, which is about what we're going to launch our token at, is about 12 cents. And currently today, I think the Binance token is between $6 and $7. If I'm not mistaken. I'll do a quick search. Binance. Yeah, on CoinMarketCap right now. It's $6.12. So we're using the same token kind of tokenomic model for launching the Zion coin, and it's going to be a utility that's used on our platform. And we're launching that outside the United States, just so you know. But when we launch it, you guys will be the first to know because you guys hang out with me every week. So you'll be the first ones to know about the Binance coin. And of course, I'm going to recommend to buy it. I'm also going to say it's a huge opportunity and high risk. But any questions about that?
Buy the rumor, sell the news.
Yeah, buy the rumor, sell the news. That's right. That's right. So we've got we got a good team that's working on how that's going to come to the market and the marketing campaign and promotion behind it. But as that gets close, I'll let you know. So, okay. Other questions about anything?
What are your thoughts of this BitTorrent? They came out with a coin and they raised 7 million or something.
Yeah, I think Torrent is great. I'm not surprised by the popularity and the raise they did, especially in this market. I think it's great. So for that particular token, that's a momentum play if you want to get involved in it. So momentum play is, you buy into the buzz and momentum and you wait for the momentum to fall out and try and get out before it does. So that's a high risk play, but I think it's, I expect it to do well. Let's see. Okay, so one of the questions I get asked also recently by some is that, Brian, should I trade the volatility in this market? And my response to that is the same as it's been in the past, is that I wouldn't. I don't want the risk profile of trading, of trying to time the market. When the market breaks out, it's going to start with a bang. When right now we're about a little over 3,400. When the market moves to the upside, we're going to jump above 4,000, 5,000, maybe even 6,000 very rapidly, and it'll be hard to get. It'll be easy to get locked out of that. So, in answer to that question, I would just say hold. I would just say continue to hold and be patient. This is the right strategy, and that's what we're doing. I'm sorry I don't have a lot more for you today. There's nothing going on with regards to regulation. Government's just recently been reopened. We'll see what happens with CFTC and BACT. We don't know what's going to happen there. So we're just kind of in a wait and see pattern at the moment. So, other questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
That may be a little less related, though, to investing. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead, Eric.
Okay, great. So basically, over Christmas, local Bitcoins banned the cash by mail
Yes.
ads and all of that stuff, right?
Yes,
So I moved over to Paxful, but then I figured, well, hey, there's a disruption in the market right now. I might as well try and capitalize on this. So I went over to the forums, and I every time somebody was asking, well, hey, what happened to cash by mail? I gave a little link to my profile and said, hey, look me over. I have a really good reputation. Here's my phone number. Just reach out if you need to do this cash by mail. Well, apparently some people took that as advertising on the forums. And also local Bitcoins took that as me trying to solicit business being taken off of local Bitcoins. So they suspended my account, and they're saying, hey, you're trying to take people off of local Bitcoins. So I wanted to know, I got your message with, hey, I should be persistent. So what exactly should I do? And also,
Andrew, maybe create a ticket and talk to somebody else, but I don't know if it's going to change anything. I just think that what happens is you have these people behind the desk that are tasked with enforcing their policies and procedures, right? Their terms of use, and so I think if you fight it, if you push hard enough, they'll compromise. I went through that at one time too, with the reputation even that I have on LBC. I had an incident where they wanted to suspend my account on Local Bitcoins for the exact same thing because I posted a link to Rockwell Trades or something, or I told them to talk to me on Skype or something like that. I can't remember what it was. And I basically said, look, this is ridiculous. You really need to, I need to be able to follow our KYC and AML procedures. People need to contact me outside of your site so that I can gather their information. They can fill out my form and so on and so forth. And then their responses were weird. It's like somebody else every time I was talking to them. And they just said, well, just provide us a copy of your ID and this and that, and then we'll unsuspend your account. I'm like, okay, I didn't ask any questions because it was dumb. I didn't understand, you're there to have that information. So they ended up reopening the account. So I would just stay persistent with them and have a good, story about why this happened. And look, I'm not trying to take people off of your site. It was just XYZ, and see if you can't get them to just lift that ban. It might take a couple of weeks, but I think you can get it done if you just be persistent with them. Because my experience of them is, I think they have a few different people, that respond to these tickets, and it's not always the same person all the time. So I'd keep at it.
Okay, so I shouldn't start new threads or anything. I should just keep persistent on that email and keep hammering away, kind of.
Yeah, that one ticket email they sent to you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just stay persistent on that. The other thing is jump over to Paxful.
Oh, I did. Oh, yeah. I've been on Paxful, I think, since the first week in January.
Okay, good. We haven't really been doing anything on Paxful, but Paxful has been reaching out to us, trying to get us to do stuff on Paxful, and so we've been doing this a little bit of testing to see if we can't work it into our process and trade. So we've done a handful of trades on Paxful, even though it says we've done thousands of trades. We've only done a handful.
Oh, how did you get them to say that you've done thousands of trades?
Well, they actually reached out to us and solicited us. Paxful did. Paxful reached out to us and wanted us to provide liquidity on their platform. And so they boosted our reputation based on our Local Bitcoins profile. So
that's great.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what the numbers are, but they basically gave us some high numbers on our ratings and on our number of trades and so forth based on our existing reputation on Local Bitcoins. That's what happened. So, and I think they'll allow you to port over your reputation for Local Bitcoins.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
How do I go about doing that?
I don't know. I have no idea, Eric. I wish I could tell you, but I think you can. I think you can port it over.
Okay. I'll have to look into that.
Okay. All right. All right. Sounds good. Okay. I don't think there's anything else right now. It's good to see you guys. Let me give you some other color too. So we had a recent incident where the American Bitcoin Academy domain was taken, right? Our American Bitcoin Academy domain was taken. So those of you that were trying to access the courses, send me an email and I can get you access to it. We're basically just launching the training platform. We haven't been doing training classes on that site for over a year now. It's been our intention to not bring on any additional students, for that time. Although I've continued to support those of you that have needed it, we have not been wanting to bring on any additional students for quite some time now. So our intention is not to continue with the American Bitcoin Academy brand or Bitcoin Academy brand, and just support the customers that came on there until they've got all the support that they need. Our intention is to really focus our energy and efforts on really the launch of Zion Trades and take over the world with providing liquidity around the world. I mean, we've got an excellent offering, and that's been our focus for a while. But if you guys are having problems with that still and you need some help, please email me, call me, text me, message me. I know I'm hard to get a hold of at times, but get a hold of me if you need that support, because I like to honor our commitments and take care of those of you who took those original courses more than a year ago. And most of you signed on, a couple of years ago. So, but we'll still be around for many years to come. I plan on doing this call for many years to come. And in 2019, once we get the Zion, we're not really kind of launching the community too much until we get the Zion lifted off the ground. So we're just kind of in a little bit of holding pattern there. But as soon as we do, this community will expand. And I hope in expanding this community, it'll become more valuable to you. I hope that you'll be able to interface with more and more investors that are involved in this space. And as we do that, of course, we have guests lined up to come on this call and provide additional insights. So we hope that's valuable to you. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Okay, guys. Thank you. It's good to see you again. And we'll talk to you next week. I just posted a link earlier to our YouTube channel, and that's where the videos will be. Okay, so you can go there to access the videos going from here forward for now. Okay, thank you guys.